So in today's video, we're going to take a look at Deism, and I want to share some thoughts in regards to why I believe Deism doesn't really make sense when you scratch the surface and really think about it. First and foremost, let's start off with some definitions. When we're talking about Deism, generally speaking, we're talking about this view that there is a being, there is a creator, there is a God that brought everything into existence, the entire universe and everything that exists into existence, and then let it be, moved away, left it alone. As opposed to Theism, where we believe that this creator, this cause, brought everything into existence, but then also controls it, maintains it, sustains it. And we believe in a personal being, a being that we can have a direct relationship with through supplication, etc. Those are the sort of key differences between the two. Now, when we look at Deism, and let's start off right at the beginning, when we talk about the origins of the universe and everything that exists, what we would agree is, and we would say, is that this cause, this creator, brought the universe into existence. Now, if this creator brought the universe into existence, that means that this being, this creator, brought this finite effect, which is this universe that has a beginning, into existence. And if it did, it therefore chose to bring the universe into existence at a particular point. Now, if it chose to bring the universe into existence, that choice points towards a will. This creator, whether you're a deist or a theist, this creator, this cause, has a will, right? Now, if this cause, this creator has a will, the next natural question I'd like you to think about is, well, what would you say, just intuitively, is more fitting of a creator, a God that has a will, to will the universe into being, create the universe, and then let it be, and not to exercise his will anymore? Or to create the universe and then thereafter be in control of it and maintain it and sustain it and bring his will into effect through different ways? What is more fitting, you would say, of a creator, a God? Secondly, the second point I want to quickly touch upon is related to the first point. When you look at the universe, we see order within our universe. There is order. There is this uniformity that we see present that allows for life to exist, that allows for the world to continue. You know, in the Quran, God makes mention and highlights this aspect of function of the universe, this orderly function of the universe. For example, in the 3rd chapter, verse 190, where God makes mention of the creation of the universe, he says, indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, meaning everything that exists, and the alternation of night and day, in it are signs for people of understanding. Now, this is a very interesting verse because, first and foremost, it reminds us and gets us to focus on the aspect of creation, that indeed in the creation of the heavens and the earth, but then God specifies in the alternation of night and day. Now, if you really think about it, why did God have to specifically mention the alternation of night and day when it's assumed, you know, the night and day, which is a result of the movement of the celestial bodies in space, you know, it's a result of these things, then it's included in what's created. But God specifies the function of these created things. So there's something very beautiful there, which is that not only has God created it, and God is drawing our attention to that, but also that He is allowing it to function, right? That there is an order, there is this continuous uniformity that we see in the world around us from so many different perspectives. The laws of physics stands, mathematics, etc. So when we look at these laws, when we look at this fine-tuning, and when we look at this uniformity within nature, well, the question here to ask is, how do we best make sense of this? Is it best made sense of by acknowledging or saying that there is a creator that's just created everything and let it be? Or is it best made sense of through acknowledging that there is a creator that has not only created everything, but is maintaining and sustaining and controlling everything, right? That's another question we need to ask ourselves and address. And again, I'll leave that question to you. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, the third aspect of the point I want to touch upon is a very interesting point, and I think this will really hit home for most of us. It's a very simple point that, look, as human beings, when we produce something, when we create something, when we make something, a product, you know, whether it be a television, a kettle, a wardrobe, whatever it may be, anything that we make, we design. When that product is manufactured and it's delivered to its user, the end user, it's always accompanied with a manual. We provide manuals. And the reason we provide manuals, and I'm sure if you think about this, you'll conclude this too, the reason we provide manuals is because they are useful. They will allow the user to know how to make the most of that product, how to set it up, how to take care of it, how to make sure that they don't damage it, etc., etc. But the underlying reason we provide manuals, if we really think about this deeply, is, well, we have an underlying concern and compassion towards the end user. As a human being, we have this mercy, this compassion and concern that we have towards the end user, that the product that we have made that they make the most of it. They get the most out of it, right? Now that's us limited human beings. What about the one that created us? Surely the one that created us and created the mercy and concern and compassion that we have towards other created things, he must surely be more merciful and more compassionate towards us than we are towards the creator. It just makes sense. How can we say that we are more merciful and compassionate than the one that created us? There's something that doesn't sit well there. And therefore, he must surely provide us with guidance too, a manual too, a way of life too. We need to first and foremost realize that as human beings, we have a need for guidance. That's evident through human history, just the way we live. I mean, first and foremost, none of us know what the true purpose of our existence is. And as I mentioned in many previous videos, that's completely lost when you deny God and turn away from God. We're confused and lost, and we're desperate to find the true meaning and purpose of our existence. And we don't know the answer to that, well, simply because we didn't create ourselves. And secondly, we need guidance, we need direction. We need to know how to conduct our lives and how to live. And again, we don't know how that works, because if that was the case, if we did know, well, we would have this universal consensus on how we should conduct our lives and how we should live. Well, we don't, right? We haven't throughout history, and we don't today. Different societies, different communities have different ways and rules and laws that they live by. So that highlights that there is definitely a need for guidance. And if there is a need for guidance, then surely the creator that created us must have provided us with guidance. And I want you to really think about this from this perspective. This creator has provided for almost every aspect of our life, really, if we think about it. I mean, something I was pondering upon the other day is that God mentions in the Quran that he made everything in the universe subservient to us, of service to us in one way, shape or form. And this includes, for example, the stars, as God mentions. Now, this is something profound. When you look at the stars in the night sky, we're looking at objects which are God knows how many millions of light years away. The stars that we're looking at tonight, this evening, if we do look up at the sky, those stars probably don't even exist anymore. It's just that the light's taken so long from them to reach us that we're still seeing that remnants of light that's still moving towards us from that star that existed once upon a time. These objects are so distant and so far away, so great in size, right? And we look at the night sky, there's millions and millions of stars out there, right? And God says that he made even the stars subservient to us. Now this is very interesting, because if we look throughout history, something we may not be able to appreciate today in the 21st century, but go back 100, 150 years. And for the majority of human history, we use the stars as a means of guidance for us on the land throughout history, whether you're at sea or on land, right? Because we didn't have the luxury of sat-navs and such devices that guide us and direct us. So the stars were a gauge. We used to follow the stars to seek direction. Now think about this, the creator that's provided for our worldly guidance, for us to find our way in this worldly life, in such a magnificent way that he created these huge celestial bodies millions of light years away, which we see from our vantage point, from our perspective, they act as a means of guidance in this world for us. The one that's provided for such guidance for us, wouldn't he provide for our most fundamental guidance, the guidance of our life, the guidance in regards to who we are and why we're here and where we're going, and what the true purpose of our life is? Wouldn't he provide for that guidance? Surely he would. If he's provided for our most trivial needs, he would surely have provided for our most fundamental and basic need. If you really stop and think about the creator, a God, and you're a deist, one thing you would realize, and you would conclude if you just rationally follow it through and think about it, is that it makes more sense that this creator indeed is a creator that has a will and that is in control of everything and that has facilitated our existence for us and continues to facilitate our lives for us, and is a personal being, is a being that cares about us and is concerned about us and wants best for us. And I would really recommend you guys to read the Quran, because something profound about the Quran is, well, even if you conclude that this being has a will and is personal, etc., well, something unique about the Quran is that what you learn about God in the Quran is something that's going to be completely rational and intuitive and in line with our reason. We don't anthropomorphize God in any way, shape or form. God is the creator. He's unlike anything you can imagine. He's the most powerful, all-powerful. He's the all-knowing. He's the eternal being who has no beginning, who has no end. He's the creator of everything that exists, and he maintains and sustains everything. And this is the creator of the heavens and the earth. And he is the being, as great as he is as-samad, as in the Arabic, in the 112th chapter, which means he is the being that we can turn towards and we can rely upon, and he is the being that provides for everything in existence and does not require provision. So I wanted to quickly share this, and I really believe one of the reasons, people want to hold on to deism and not move on from there, although it's very rational and intuitive to move on from there towards a more theistic conception of a creator, is because it's comfortable. I really believe that's one of the reasons, because when you acknowledge a creator and you say that God created everything and has nothing to do with his existence, it's still, again, just like with atheism, it removes that sense of accountability, that sense of duty. It's gone. It's the same, right? Whether you believe whether you have a deistic conception of God or you're an atheist, as far as your life is concerned, it doesn't change in any way, shape, or form. Because you still continue to live it as you want to live it. And this is the fundamental issue for most people. And many people don't even realize this, is that for most people, they themselves have become their God. It's about us and our ego. And we believe we know what's best. We don't want to submit to God and to worship God and to turn to God and rely upon Him. And I can see the appeal of that in the times that we live in, but I want people to realize is that when you adopt such a view and you make yourself the object of worship in these ways, where you guide your own life and you believe you know what's best and you do what you want to do, you will run into many problems as well, right? Because you'd realize that you're a finite being that's dependent. It's not going to provide you with those fundamental answers in regards to the purpose of your existence. The best you would be able to do is make those things up. But if you want the true answer to the true reason for your existence and who you really are, that's only going to come from the one that made you. And He has sent that to us in the form of revelation throughout history. And He has sent us that final revelation, which is the Quran, which is preserved till the Day of Judgment now. So I really recommend anyone that's honest and sane, that wants to look into this, to read the Quran and see what it has to say. So hopefully that's beneficial. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Until next time, take care. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and make sure to subscribe. Take care.